Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about tomatoes. Tomatoes are normally classified as a vegetable, but they can also be classified as a fruit. So tomatoes can either be a vegetable or a fruit depending on what you're discussing. Here at our garden, at one of our gardens, we have two types of varieties of tomatoes. One variety is it's a cherry tomato, and the other variety, which is in that section over there, and two plants right there that I'll show you guys in a second, those are brandywine tomatoes. So those are normally they grow to about this size and are classified as a beef steak tomato. So right here we have one growing. It's still getting a little bit larger, and it'll be turning yellow, then orange, then red soon. When you're growing your tomatoes, you want to make sure that you have good soil that is permeable, and that means that water can easily go through it. You don't want water to go out of the soil quickly because you want some water to retain. So a good thing to put in your soil mix is compost. Compost is a great water absorber. So if you mix your regular garden soil, compost, and any other fertilizer in that mix, you will have a great mixture. Right over here we have some cherry tomatoes, and as you can see, it looks kind of dry, but we did a mixture of the compost, regular soil, and some fertilizer, and then on top we put what are those things called? Mulch. We put mulch. I almost forgot. We put mulch there because mulch also helps retain the water that comes either from rainwater or when you water your plants yourself. And another tip, because I just took some weeds from here, when you do have your plants either in the raised bed or in the ground, you want to make sure that you take weeds out, because the weeds can take away any water or nutrients that may be in the ground from your tomato plants. And so over here we have some more tomatoes that are growing and that will be ready for harvest hopefully by late September, early October. And so this is considered a seedling because it's a baby plant. And then this is a cherry tomato plant. So this will grow into that, hopefully, if everything works out with the weather. And so when your plant becomes this mature and this big, you want to make sure that if you see any dead leaves or stems like this, you want to toss them away, because these are diseased leaves and it can spread disease to other parts of the plant, and we do not want that. You can harvest your tomatoes anytime. I normally harvest them when they're this color, orange or red. Sometimes I've harvested them when they're green. It just depends on like what kind of flavor you're looking for, or what you're looking for as a whole. When you have your mature tomato plant and you see the flowers coming, you want to make sure that you pollinate the flowers yourself. So if you can see, these are big brandywine tomato plants, and so they push themselves through a hole that was in this canopy. And if you can see, I don't know if you guys can see that, those flowers up there. You see all those flowers? Those were pollinated. I didn't pollinate them because they're too high, but like these right here, flowers right here, if they're yellow, like open and yellow, you can shake them either with your hands for a few seconds or with a electric toothbrush. And what that does, it pollinates the flower inside, because if you didn't know, tomato plants have both female and male reproductive organs, the stamen and the pistil. So when you shake the flower, the pollen falls from the male part onto the female part inside of the flower, and that's how we get tomatoes. And then once the pollen falls onto the pistil, which is the female part, you get a tomato. And when it starts to grow, it looks like this. It looks very small, but then depending on what type of variety of tomato you get, it's going to grow. And throughout its life, you want to make sure that you add fertilizer to your plant, so as it grows, it feeds all the nutrients to what it's growing. And so you can use like bone meal, or you can get go to Walmart, Home Depot, or Lowe's to get it's called Miracle Grow, that's the brand, and they have plant food. Plant food is very good. Use it once every 2 to 3 weeks. And what that does is just feeds nutrients back to the soil every time you water your plants. There are so many different types of tomatoes. You have cherry tomatoes, grape tomatoes, beefsteak tomatoes, slicing tomatoes, purple tomatoes, green tomatoes, orange, red, yellow. So many different types of tomatoes. The different varieties are specifically grown for a specific taste, or cooking, whatever you're doing. You can find these different varieties at family-owned nurseries. Nurseries are places where gardeners sell different types of plant seeds, or you can find them at Lowe's or Home Depot, or even Walmart, and Dollar General, and Dollar Tree. All those stores do sell seeds. So pick your variety. I think, in my opinion, grape and cherry tomatoes are great for salads because you could just pop them in your mouth, easy to eat. Beefsteak tomatoes are great for making like sandwiches, or green fried tomatoes, all of that. If you do try to grow any tomatoes, let us know, because this summer it has been very hot. I'm gonna switch hands, my hand's tired. It's been very hot for our tomato plants at both of our gardens. This plant was doing very well until I think last week or the week before. Like, I've been watering it, making sure it had what it needed, but unfortunately it's dying, I think. And so I've been trying to prune all the tomato plants to make sure they are not disease ridden and that they stay as healthy as possible, because as it continues to increase in the heat, they're gonna die soon. So make sure that you always keep your tomato plants on a water schedule, at least when they're starting off as seedlings, like I showed you before. You want to make sure that you water them at least twice every week. And then once the heat starts kicking in after spring, you want to make sure probably 3 times a week. I do the plants at the gardens twice a week, or once every 3 days, and I make sure I water them heavily so they have a constant watering schedule, because you don't want your plants to die on you. If you guys have any further questions, please make sure you ask them down in the comment section down below, and we'll be posting our next video, What is Soil, this Friday. Make sure you click the notification bell so you'll be notified of every time we drop a video. We hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure to visit us on our website, www.EBLLCinc.com, for more information on our program Project Grape, and any YouTube info that we'll be sharing can be found on our social media accounts, Easton Banks Learning and Life Center on Facebook, and EBLLC INC on Instagram. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.